I made her when I showed out my whip. Hey, spent my 10 on my fit. Ex-slick then hit with the back then, used to out the zip. Blow out his back and then dip. Got a whole party all on the ship. All these four things pull out the VIP. Suck turn up, baby, pour out the milk. So you know how I drip.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Baltimore Ravens. Lurching closer toward the midway point of this NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. This is taken about 7 yards deep, and no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line.
Go now. 10-2 stop.
Touchdown, defense.
A first carry for the Clemson man, Wayne Gallman. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now Jones finds his tight end Ingram. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Jones. There he goes, right side. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Well, it was 3rd down. Defensively, they were just hoping to make a play and get off the field, get their offense on. Instead, they did one better. Pick it off, take it into the end zone.
Well, they did what you said. They got off the field.
They're going to have to come right back on.
They're going to come right back on, but happily, right? They put the ball in the end zone. That's the way you start a game. That's the way you set the tone.
The call is to go for one and kick the extra point. And the Ravens lead at 7-0. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They'll begin with a run by Gallman. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
After the run, here's 2nd and 8 from the 27. Throwing, Jones. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Hey, 50's a mine, 50's a mine.
From the gun, Jones. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
The first down carry by Elliott doesn't amount to much, as he'll get forward for about a couple. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
On second down now, it's Elliott. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
It's now 3rd and 8.
Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8. Now Ryan. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
Ready? 18, Gator.
55, Mike.
You ain't got nothing. Bravo. Let's go.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. On second down, Elliott. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 5th touchdown now on the year, as the Ravens push further out in front. Early on, they have all facets of the game working in tandem.
Yeah, you give the defensive touchdown early to give you the first score, and then your offense piggybacks on top of that and gets their own. And any coach we've ever talked to, and we've had that conversation with them prior to the game, they always say, you know, if we can score on defense or special teams, that gives us like a 95% chance of winning the game. I don't know if that number's correct, but it certainly does tend to play out that way, doesn't it?
It does. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23. Yard line.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Now Gallman. And he'll get about 3 as he takes this up near the 25.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Here's Jones to throw on 3rd down. Going up top. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Dixon, the punter, is on as he sends it away. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49. Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Here's Ryan. They'll set up the screen to Elliott. He's got a 1st down and then some inside the 40. And finally taken down at the 35-yard line. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. To the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Watch the twist. They go.
Here's James. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They stay on the ground, but this time it's Elliott. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
They've definitely established a rhythm on this drive, moving the ball quite well. And big man with football is an integral part of the whole thing.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott, and he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory.
Here we go. 60 yards. General West. Switch it. Come on, switch it.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. And Elliott trying to work his way forward, but it looks like he did not make it. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad, because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier, but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there, because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Jones on 1st down. They'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant 1st down. Jones now on 1st and 10. He's going to look deep down the field. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 34. And he'll take it across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit. And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup. Now Ryan. Snead's got it. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. Here's Ryan. He'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Now this one complete downfield on the left side. It's a pickup of 11 and a Baltimore 1st down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Ready.
On 1st down, James. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Here we go. Go. 47. Check, 47. Come on, baby. Let's see what you got. Check, nickel. 47's the mic. 47's the mic.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now arguably the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Let's go. 90, Wolf. Recon, 132 fighter.
Here's Elliott. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Nice job there finding room to maneuver, and he worked his way into another first down. And look, they had great field position to start, but boy, they've done a nice job taking advantage of it.
Now they're just hoping to cap it off.
Set up, 30 base.
55 to Mike.
5.
They'll run on first down. It's James, and he's going to push his way down to about the 12. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3.
Mike's 46.
Hey, Alpha.
47.
10th carry now for Elliott. And they see right through that defensively as he'll be hit and taken down to the backfield. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 3rd down.
Here we go. 15 line. 15 line.
I'm coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son.
Ryan. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Here's 1st and goal, and gosh, points here, a chance maybe to put this thing away before halftime.
5.
47's the mic. 47's the mic.
Big grip.
Now Elliott. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott in the final seconds of the first half as the Ravens push further out in front.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
And just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Extra point right down the middle. And the route is on here in this first half. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And some dangerous territory. Already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here, or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and which you also have to guard again.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 24. And he will be brought down as time has now run out on this first half of action. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman ready with our EA Sports halftime report. Coach, the Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Here we go.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They have to be pleased with the way that they've moved the football thus far.
And why wouldn't they be? 2 touchdowns on a field goal in their first 3 possessions. They're playing so well right now, the field goal probably feels like a disappointment.
Second half starts with a carry by Elliott. And nothing but daylight ahead. The 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point forthcoming. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? Now the try here for the point after. And the lead will grow by 1 more. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. On 2nd and 10, Jones. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off at the 33. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
But someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman.
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
with the Eagles.
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington.
And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, 31 yards. And the Ravens turn that interception into a touchdown. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. They'll run again here with Gallman. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Call it 7 yards on the carry, so a pretty good game, but still left with a tough 3rd and 8.
50 slant. Pick your game up. 5.
Gallman will run it. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the first down. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. They'll run for it with Goldman. It's a gain of 11 and a Giant first down. Oh, on the defensive side, that is so deflating.
Not only is it deflating, they've got to look at each other's eyes on that side of the ball and take each other's measure. You've got them backed up, perfect situation, and what they said to you on the other side is, we don't think you can stop us. Went ahead and got it in that position. That should never happen.
This is Gallman. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
Here's Gallman. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
60 outlaw. General West. Let's get it.
And to give this time to the tailback. He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Here we go, D. All day, defense.
Looking to throw. Jones. And Ingram holds it in. And he's going to get this inside the 30. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 29-yard line.
First down, Giants.
Down. 60 or. You.
A delayed give to Gallman. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. And, Charles, you look at this offense, their struggles moving the ball well documented. Dead last in the NFL in first downs, but signs of life there.
Yeah, and you and I do, I think, a really good job of respecting the game and respecting the teams. But this squad, they're in a position now where their fan base gets excited when they pick up a first down. They cheer almost like they picked up a touchdown.
Now a handoff looking right. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now Jones on 3rd down. They'll roll him out right. That's complete, right around the 8. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. 7 yards on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. They'll try and run for it, and he takes it into the end zone for a Giant TD. Wayne Gallman, his first touchdown on the year. And it's for pride now, but the Giants do get a bit closer. And it's no good. It has not been his day. That's the 2nd extra point he's missed so far. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off.
We got this.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, They're not as worried and concerned about getting him out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. To throw again, Ryan. That one complete to Elliott. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 29-yard line. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10, as they're down to the 29-yard line.
Pilot, 64, weak.
Give me that ball, defense. Watch the safety creep.
They'll run with Elliott. And only able to muster a couple down to about the 27.
Bottom line, they keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
47. I'm scared. Orbit. 47's the mic.
And now a first chance for the backup here to throw. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Bud Dupree just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Brings up 3rd down.
The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 15. Now a give, right side. It's James. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And his kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive.
Hey, Haywood.
Hey, 50.
Go.
50's the mic. We got to get the ball, D. Get the ball.
Ready.
On 1st and 10, Jones. And now here is another interception. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Marcus Peters. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And they will take a knee here. Here's Sam Cook now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. It's a 44-yard punt, just 3 on the return. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line. Just a little bit of a rough stretch. 6 interceptions now in these last 2 weeks combined.
I know the easy thing is to go back to mechanics, footwork, things of that nature. I'm also wondering, is he getting fooled by what he's seeing on defense? Has the scouting report changed? Are they showing him things different than what he expected? For the second week in a row, he's throwing it to the guys in the wrong color shirts.
Yeah, he better figure, whatever the reason is, he better figure it out.
Let's go. Hey, hold on. Strong right. All right, go.
And they'll indeed take a knee.
The quarterback keeps it.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Baltimore, they'll finish the first half of the schedule dead even at 4-4. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Giants, it's yet another loss as they've started out now 0-7. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.
Snooze, I won't, I can't lose, ready, rest or a bed. Do what you can to do, make it next move your best. 100 yard dash. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm cocky. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, no man. Oh, there with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 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 Yeah. They can't catch up cause they lacking the stamina. Way too advanced to be playing with amateurs. They on attack when they tackle like damagers. They react and play it back on the camera. High boy, just consider me flammable. Sure shot, I got all the intangibles. Need a leash, I'm a beast, I'm an animal. Heat the competition up like a Hannibal. Know the game like I wrote up the manual. I do weekly what you do on the annual. MVP, that decision unanimous. Big dogs, I don't think they can handle it. Battlefield, it's just me and my warriors. Guaranteed we emerging victorious. Years, blood, sweat, tears, it's glorious. I remember when they always ignoring the dash. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. They will not stop me. Tenfold, copy, end zone. Watch me celebrate. I'm cocky. I do my dance. Jump in the stands. No man, no man. Oh, there with the hands. Thought he could guard me. I ruin they plans. I do what I want. They do what they can. Got it on smash. Foot on the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 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 They slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's noted in keeping it low-key. I can carve up the D like a turkey or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. Team morale took a